Hello and welcome back to Card Kingdom's Legacy Preservation Series 1K Magic Tournament. I'm your host, Josh Monks, joined by the top four-ist, Rob Hunsaker.
That's right.
Hunsaker.
That's right.
Were you trying to make America great again? I've been saying that all day.
Making them feel the burn. It's a progressive strategy.
I'm glad you saw that because Jordan finally figured it out like 3 minutes ago.
What?
Last time. That when I was saying you were feeling the burn, I mean,
Yeah.
because you're playing burn.
Yeah. Well, I wrote that as my deck list name.
Oh,
also.
really? Feel the burn?
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't see that?
No, I didn't.
Just came up with it out of nowhere.
Hey,
That was my deck list name.
I like it. Yeah, I've been saying you're making America great again. Burning your way in.
One lava spike at a time.
One lava spike at a time. So we are going into the finals here. This is the finals. Solomon is in 7th, which means he's going to be on the draw again. He's been on the draw every single round of the top 8 and managed to finish pretty clean.
I know the pain. I was 8th, so...
Yes. He was hoping to play against you so he'd get to play.
Yeah.
Said Allian won. Allian playing Miracles, gets to start out, and he's got a hand of Counterbalance, which is very good. Sensei's Divining Top into Counterbalance. Solomon has a Daze. He's got a Cabal Therapy as well. He's going to be able to Gix Probe into this Cabal Therapy to rip apart Allian's hand just a little bit.
Pretty good.
Do you take the Counterbalance here, or do you take the Snapcaster Mage here? That's my question.
Well, I doubt his deck has any way to deal with counterbalance, right?
That's true. He's
In
got
his
Daze.
deck?
He's got Daze in hand though, so maybe he wants to bait Allian into playing Counterbalance here, but Allian would probably be able to see that. Just go ahead and utilize that Sensei's Divining Top, play around it a little bit.
I think you want to get rid of that counterbalance.
Yeah, I think
counterbalance is really good against this deck.
Yeah. Certainly a good Counterbalance deck. We got the Claw Therapy to follow it up. Allian's going to go ahead and move that Counterbalance to the graveyard. Tarmogoyf's going to grow just a little bit. Allian's going to take the turn. He's moving into his upkeep. Do you think he's going to top here or not? Does he need to make his hand better, or does he want to play some cards?
Yeah, I think we'll just draw.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the right play. His hand is not very good.
No, it's not. That's what I was thinking he might want to start topping. Get into his deck a little bit. He's going to pass turn back Solomon. Solomon's going to start off with a Gix Probe. See that Snapcaster Mage, and notice that Allian has not gotten any new cards. He played the land that he drew that turn, not the Polluted Delta.
Yeah, Solomon's hand is not very good either.
This is true. He's got a True Name. He's got a Daze. I thought I saw a Gush. I know it's not that. That was a Stifle and another Gix Probe. Oh, he's got 2 Stifles, I think. Nope, just 1. Little land heavy. He needs some cantrips, I think.
Yeah, he's going to be in pretty good shape, though, if he untaps with that. If that True Name resolves.
Allian's going to fetch. That's going to get Stifled.
You know, I don't know if I like that. I know you're supposed to fire off Stifle whenever you can, but...
In Miracles, I feel like you got to hit the Miracle Trigger. That is a triggered ability.
Well, especially since he's going to play True Name next turn.
Yeah.
Because that protects his True Name at least once, because, I mean, Allian doesn't have too many ways to deal with True Name.
No, he's 4 Terminus.
And that's going to definitely be Solomon's plan to win this game.
Absolutely. Kill him with the 3-1.
Yeah. I mean, he's seen that Allian has a bunch of lands in hand. I don't know how afraid of that I would be. I mean, he's not doing anything.
There's no tempo gain here either. I think if Solomon had a threat in place, Stifling here is pretty good.
Yeah.
But until you have a threat, I think you don't necessarily want to look at the tempo gain like that. Allian finds a Terminus, though. That's huge. So is that land Terminus? That's pretty awkward off this Ponder, I'm not going to lie.
Ponderland Terminus?
Oh, is that a Ponder? Oh, it is a Ponder. Okay, that makes it a lot better.
Yeah, Allian is one of the shiniest decks in the room.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's got a foiled out Miracles deck.
That is my favorite island.
Is it?
Yes.
The Cup Island.
The Dank Bull Island is what I like to call it.
Yeah. All right.
We got another Gix Probe. Solomon's put himself down to 14. Another Broken Sleeve. He's broken a couple on Cam.
All right.
Open it up.
You think he's just going to jam the True Name here?
I think so, and I think it's not going to... Oh, actually, you know what? Allian doesn't have any white sources in play right now. He's not going to be able to cast that Terminus here. No Plains, no Tundra.
Yeah, I doubt he even left the Terminus on top. It's probably 2 down, I would guess.
That's my guess. Probably put the land above it. Ponder land Terminus. Makes sense, makes sense. He's got that mana up, though, so he's going to be able to see the True Name. No, he's going to save that Terminus. See where we go from there. Solomon's going to play his fetch. He's going to double tap here. Get 2 lands out of his deck, and then our Mr. 3-1 Sneaky Fishy is coming.
Here he comes.
Merfolk Rogue, I believe, is his creature type. Is that right?
That's right. I'll be happy to say I played 9 rounds of Legacy and did not face a True Name.
That's pretty good for you.
I'm glad that card is on the downswing. Just like from a game, that card's really unpleasant.
Okay, so it looks like Solomon's actually going to play the Big Fish. So he's saying if you got a Terminus, you can Terminus, but I don't think you have a Sword Splasher either. I like this. Kind of taxes the same resource that Allian may have as an answer. And Allian hasn't seen that True Name is in Solomon's hand.
You know, one awkward thing about this Grixis Pyromancer deck is The Cabal therapies are not very good.
Yeah, they're really not. It's not great. You got the Young Pyromancer combo, but that's like a pretty mid to late game combo.
Yeah, I mean, it's also Young Pyromancer's a 3-0. Is this the standard list for this deck?
Solomon, he's been playing kind of his own list for a while. He's been playing this deck forever.
Seems like it's working for him.
Yeah, he does very well with it. He doesn't get to play in a lot of weeklies, but he plays a ton in these like 1K events and these Grand Prix trials, things like that. And he's top 8 at pretty much all of them that he's played in.
It's pretty good. Solomon wishing he had that stifle right now, I bet.
I mean, he's probably okay with this because now he gets to jam Trinum and says, oh, do you have another Terminus underneath there? Because you're going to need one. Draw. It's a Sensei's Divining Top that he just put back. Do you think Allian, what do you think he's going to do here? Do you think he's going to play the Mentor, play his land, play top?
I think that's probably the play. He needs to just try and race this True Name, and actually Mentor races True Name very well.
Absolutely.
So.
Looks like we're going to see a Snapcaster. He's going to try and set up something like this Ponder that he's going to flash back. I kind of like this, but I also like Jam and Mentor and saying, well, let's see, do you have a removal spell?
Yeah, I know Allian's a pretty conservative player. I think he probably wants to save Mentor for when he has the countertop lock set.
Okay, yeah, he wants to make sure he's got the countertop lock first. He might want to be playing Terminus before he plays that Mentor as well. Maybe that's how he sees it.
I think, though, I mean, he can't see Solomon's hand, but I don't think Solomon has an answer for that Mentor.
No, he doesn't.
But he would get his top days if that happened, which would be...
Oh, that's very bad, actually.
That would be very awful for Allian. So.
Allian really needs that top in play. Draw off the Ponder. It's a counterbalance. He's got the combo.
There it is.
We're going to go ahead and play his land.
It's getting dazed anyway.
Play top. This is getting dazed. Feels
That's
pretty bad for
feel
Allian.
awful. Like on turn 6 or 7.
Getting dazed. It never feels good to get dazed.
Ugh.
What's even worse when you get dazed hard casted against you. You're like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I feel like Allian probably, knowing that he almost certainly was probably casting the top that turn, he probably should have cast top first and then pondered.
Okay, I like that.
Then, like, if ponder gets dazed, it's an okay result.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world, but that daze, I mean, that puts him way far behind. Counterbalance is not a very good card. Yeah. Although Allian is kind of a wizard with counterbalance. So.
Yeah, Sensei's Divining Top is a much better card on its own than Counterbalances. And that's why you see Sensei's Divining Top show up in other decks and Counterbalance not show up in other decks.
Yeah, definitely.
Now he's got to figure out what he wants to do here. He can play Mentor followed up by Counterbalance, get a token, but it looks like he's going to play the Counterbalance and pass.
I think he's assuming since Solomon is a Grixis deck, he has quite a bit of removal. And since he hasn't played any removal spells yet, he probably has one.
Yeah, instead, Solomon's just holding like 5 lands and a Gurmag Angler or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I think it may be 2 lands and a Gurmag Angler. I might be exaggerating a little bit.
And I think he could cast that Gurmag, or he's very close. But
I don't know if he wants to.
I don't think he does.
I think he wants to sit back on this 5 damage a turn clock.
Yep.
Say, let's race till you wrath again. Just forcing so many answers out of Allian. Gonna just tax him as far as he can. Tax him all the way to the bank. Solomon fixing that die.
Yeah, Allian's in pretty bad shape right now, and if he would have played that Mentor out a couple turns ago, he would pretty easily be racing, I think. So.
Yeah, it'd be a pretty close race. I think the big thing was losing his Sensei's Divining Top. I don't think that needed to happen.
That was not good.
And so Allian has a Force Wheel, but I'm pretty sure Solomon's just gonna not play a spell until Allian blinks.
Yeah, I think there's no reason for him to.
These tempo decks are very good at establishing just a slight advantage board presence, force their opponent to do something.
There's the Bolt for Mentor.
I don't even think he's going to try to
think it's
Mentor.
Probably going upstairs at this point.
And, Allian's dead next turn. The line flips the Terminus.
There it is.
Solomon's going to drain, put him down to 5. Oh, no spells in the yard for Allian, so it looks like Solomon's going to have to eat something out. Eating a Terminus.
And I think Solomon wants to end a turn. Can he cast the Angler? How many cards does he have this weird dude? 3?
I think he's got 3, maybe 4.
And he's got I think he has 3 with a Therapy and a Fetch land. Mm-hmm. So he has enough without bolting him. I think it might be worth saving the Bolt.
I think so.
A surprise.
I think so. I like that a lot. And you know that Gurmag Angler's not going to get countered by Counterbalance, which is nice.
Yeah.
That card costs, what, 7 mana? 6 in a black?
It's 8.
Was it 8? It's 7 in a black? Okay.
It's 7 in a black.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't think there's any reasonable 8 drops for Miracles to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dig Through Time, Treasure Cruise are gone.
Alright, he finally plays the Mentor. And
draws Wasteland. I think you Wasteland the Volcanic here? try
I
and...
don't think Alien has any red cards main deck, right?
Okay,
I
so
think
you want to
race on the Tundra.
Okay, stop him from being
That
able
keeps
to
him
retreat.
off white. He
Okay,
can't
yeah.
retreat.
Makes sense. And then, did you just jam Gurmag Angler here?
Yeah, you have to.
Okay, that's pretty good. Here comes Zombie Fish.
And he's leaving up the lightning bolt.
I like that. I mean, it's not even a trigger counterbalance. I like that. I like when people know not to trigger counterbalance.
Top deck's cantrip is exactly what he needed.
We're
that
gonna
buys him-
respond, yeah.
Oh man,
Now, if there's a 1 on top, back to back.
I guarantee there's a 1 on top.
Damn, it's a counterbalance, almost.
And that counterbalance reveal shows us we're one step closer to a shuffle off that ponder.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a
Because
move.
that is one card he definitely does not want here.
You want the first one real
And
bad.
I really think Solomon should have bolted that Mentor on his turn.
Yeah, I think you're right. But you know, it would have gotten countered. I know
Yeah.
that's results-based thinking, but
Yeah.
Solomon would be in a much worse place if that had happened.
Yeah.
So let's see.
There's,
Terminus land and counterbalance. Do you
So-
think he keeps this or
I
ships it?
think he has to, but it's not good. We'll say that.
Yeah, I'm not
So he
feeling
has. If Solomon doesn't have another threat, so he's gonna chump with the token. If Solomon doesn't draw anything, and then he doesn't deploy a threat, right? Because he has lethal on board.
Yeah.
And then Alien terminuses him, and then if he draws,
Anything over the next 2 turns, basically.
well, Alien will have hardcast Forcible up. The next
He can also
turn.
softcast Forcible here as well. We got a chump. Man, there it is. I knew that was coming. Pass the turn back to Solomon. Right, it's another fetch. Solomon is just hitting a trillion lands and no
Yeah.
cantrips.
He really needs to draw a land or a brainstorm.
Well, these guys are just in Dragos.
So
Alien just
stiff.
drew a brainstorm though.
He's holding it.
And Carmancer's the
Fire
draw.
range, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's probably going to get countered by the counterbalance though. I imagine Alien will brainstorm,
More
put the
than
counterbalance
likely.
on top.
I think
Alien's-
Solomon should have jammed that
Yeah,
because Alien is at 4. Like, all right,
I like
he's
this.
definitely
Gix
gonna
Probe.
jam
Gix
that.
Probe gets a lot better here. So he can actually play this. Alien is going to respond with the brainstorm. Solomon can let brainstorm resolve
Or
and
he
then
can daze
stifle.
it. I think he should daze it.
You think you should daze it? I think you let this resolve and then you stifle the counterbalance trigger.
Or I mean, never mind. The Pyromancer's on the stack. Yeah, I like that play a lot.
I like it a lot. I feel like that's a really good way to attack this because you know that Alien's going to put a 2 on top. He's not going to put a 1 on top. And if he puts a
Yeah.
1 on top, you're fine with that. There it is. Bam. Stifle, baby. Show it to me. Oh, Alien does have the Force of Will to hardcast. Oh, and Solomon has a daze,
Daze.
but there's a 2 on top.
There is.
Oh.
Is there a 2 on top? Did he hit it 2?
Well, he had a counterbalance in his hand, and it's now not in his hand, so I gotta imagine it's on top.
He also has swords too. I wonder if
Swords gets a little bit awkward, though, as Solomon would be able to make a couple tokens. And if Solomon has 2 tokens in play, I'm pretty sure he's in good shape.
yeah, with Alien at 4, definitely.
Very fast clock.
All right, well,
Does Alien fire off the Force here?
we'll see.
This is a tough decision. Alion's considering a lot of options.
That's pretty brutal that the Daze is going to get countered too.
Yeah. The Daze and YP both cost 2. So it looks like the Stifle's gonna resolve.
Wow.
The Pyromancer's gonna resolve. Cast Gix Probe for mana. Trigger. Make a buddy. Alien still has a 2 on top.
What do you think Solomon is going to name here with therapy?
There's a lot of options. Well, he's gonna Gix Probe
he
first.
gets-
When he sees this hand, I think you name Mentor, right? Mentor or Force of Will.
I would cast it and see what Alien does
Yeah.
because you might just want to name that Swords.
Yeah, I can see that. If Alien doesn't cast it. One of the things you gotta be afraid of is like, what's the 2 did Alien put back? Was it a Snapcaster Mage or was it a Counterbalance? Because if it's a Snapcaster Mage, taking the swords is kind of awkward.
Yeah, definitely.
There's currently no swords in the graveyard, so look at that. Looks like there's gonna be a hard-casted Force of Will. Solomon's gonna daze it, make a token, but there's counterbalance
I
on
like
top. Seems reasonable. And now Solomon, I think he's gonna fire off his brainstorm. He hasn't put a land yet this turn, so he'll be able to fetch it away too. Really good cycling of his cantrips.
Wow.
Solomon's just overpowering the board, and he hits hot fire.
Yep.
Gets to put 2 lands back, fetch him away, and then he can either deploy a...
Deathrite Shaman.
Deathrite Shaman
Make
here.
lethal next turn.
He elects not... Oh, maybe he did play a land. I thought he didn't. Here's the Mentor. It's a blocker, so it makes buddies. Solomon has a lot of creatures in play already, though. Got a Swords on the Young Pyromancer. Make a Monk token. That's pretty good for Alien.
And he goes down to 0 cards.
He's hellbent now, yeah. Oh, he's got 1 card in hand. It's Counterbalance he just drew.
Right.
Solomon's going to draw its fetch land. Start off with a Brainstorm. Are you going to blind flip? Caesar
Nope.
Caracas, that's a 0.
I think he led with the Brainstorm there because what he really wants to do is resolve Deathrite
How
Shaman.
about resolving True Name?
How about both?
Oh, yeah. I like
Because
that
he
too.
knows that Alien's drawing Caracas next turn.
Yeah, that card's not great here.
So he should be able to win here. He just
I think
jams.
so. You just play
And
all
he
your
should
threats.
he should know that his card is counterbalanced too, right? He showed it to him.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
revealed
He knows
it.
his Counterbalance. No reason to Cabal Therapy that either.
Nope.
So he's
you
got
can
3
kinda go
mana and
nuts
he hasn't
here.
played a land here. I don't think you need to attack, though.
It makes the True Name lethal.
Okay. But I mean, you know
But
that True
you have
Name
True Name,
and
Deathrite
Deathrite
Shaman,
aren't
and
going to
you
get
know all
interacted.
the you know all the cards. I actually just think it's an irrelevant decision, assuming
Yeah,
he
you're
plays both those things.
Down to 1. Down to 2. I guess he was a 5. Whoop. Solomon trying to be a little sneaky.
Tricky.
Set up the fetch, only put a fetch land on top, not the duel that he's going to fetch. Now it looks like a big
So-
chump on camera. So Solomon's going to start out with his Cabal Therapy, rip the
interesting.
Counterbalance out. He's going to jam True Name.
I like
I guess now that he
Playing
knows
that
that
it
True Name's
doesn't
lethal.
actually matter.
Yeah. I guess he knows now that True Name's lethal.
Yeah.
He'll just go ahead and play lethal. Solomon wins that game pretty soundly.
yeah, his draw was not very good.
It started out very
He won
poor.
anyway.
Yeah, I felt like he played the end of that game very, very well.
Yeah, there was definitely a lull there in the middle where he just drew like a million lands.
Yeah, we had 4
Like,
lands in his hand and no Brainstorm. And then he hit a
Yeah.
Brainstorm and he was right back in the game.
I think Alien lost that game when he lost his cop.
I think so. I think that was the mistake.
That was it.
This Miracles deck just requires those 3 cards on top of its library to be able to get access to.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about. It doesn't seem like Miracles has been doing very well lately. Have you noticed that, or has it?
There's a lot of people playing Aggro Loam. And it's pretty bad versus that deck.
It's really bad against that deck. How did Solomon beat Aggro Loam last time?
The Aggro Loam player mulliganed to Oblivion and then got wasted out of the game in the other one.
Yeah, I played Aggro Loam a little bit, and you would think that it's really good against this Grixis deck, but I don't actually think it's that great.
I don't really think that Aggro Loam has a lot of good matchups. It's just very good in the matchups it's good in.
Yeah, I don't think it's very good at all. It's really inconsistent.
Yeah, that's
it's
the problem that I
super
have with
slow if it doesn't have Mox Diamond, and it has a very hard time beating Gurmag Angler.
Yeah.
Gurmag Angler is a huge problem for that deck because it's a fast clock, and you like.
Liliana is the only card that kills it. Not even Reliquary getting big enough to trade is the other thing. And
Yeah, it's just not a reliable plan against like a Deathrite Shaman deck or whatever. Like you don't have. I don't know. I just.
yeah, name a Gurmag Angler deck that doesn't have Deathrite Shaman in it too. Like, they're all there.
I'm not super surprised to see a Grixis deck in the finals here. There was a lot of Grixis decks here today. I think it was. I don't know. Did you guys total the numbers? I bet
we
it was
did
the
not.
most played deck by quite a bit.
Yeah, we know that Sean Yu is really big into metagame analysis, and I'm sure
Yeah.
he's going to create one for this. So if you guys are active on Magic the Seattling, that's the Facebook page for Seattle Magic.
That's Sean Yu Premium though.
Oh yeah.
He's not gonna give that out.
Oh yeah, he posted. It's like, here it is. Here's all the information.
He posted that for free?
Yeah.
I figured that was
He like-
Dr. Yu Premium
Yeah.
material.
Google Docs. I think you might need a Google account to be able to do it. I don't even think so. I think you just log in anonymously. You're good. It's always nice to see stuff like that. I'm always happy because I feel like doing commentary puts me as a part of the metagame, even though I'm not actually playing. I'm just always at the winner's table. Is really what it
Yeah.
comes down to. Makes me feel really good at the game.
Hey, it's good.
Looking at his sideboard, Alien's got some rest in pieces. What else has he got? Why don't I just look at his actual sideboard? Oh, it's really hard to read his handwriting, that's why. It's all in cursive. Rest in pieces, he's got Vendilion Clips, he's got Pyroblast. He's got Supreme Verdict, is it Static Caster? He's got a Council's Judgment, potentially.
Alright, this doesn't happen very often in Legacy. Solomon has a card in his deck that I don't know what it is.
What card is it?
Fire Covenant.
Oh, it's a good one. One
it
black-red.
Okay.
As an additional cost, pay X life.
Oh, that
Fire
card.
Covenant deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures.
Okay.
It's a good one. Spicy Meatball.
It's got like a dragon on it. or
Yeah, it's like a
something, right?
dragon. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
breathing smoke out of its nose. Yeah, yeah.
I've played against that in Cube. I've never seen it in Legacy.
Yeah, it's it's a 1-of. Solomon likes his 1-ofs. His sideboard is 13 1-ofs and 2 2-ofs. I really like 2-ofs and 1-ofs in sideboards like these decks that are just full of cantrips and just trying to utilize seeing cards, because you can have a bunch of 1-ofs that are all slightly different, and then be able to find which one you want and be able to play that one. Whereas there's advantages to also just playing a bunch of the same card. It looks like Solomon is playing Dudo over there. One of my favorite games, Liar's Dice. I don't know if you know how to play that game. It's a little bit too complex to be able to explain at this time. Basically, everyone has a bunch of dice in front of them hidden, and you just place bets on who has, or how many dice there are on the table. And it just keeps on going up and up and up.
I feel like Solomon's deck's getting a little bit better post-board than Allianz.
I feel like Miracles is a deck that pretty much stays the same pre- and post-board. They get like slightly more affected targeted hate, but decks like these Delver decks, they know what cards they get to shave. They also know if they're going to be on the play or the draw. So their deck composition is very focused on that. Force of Will is a card you usually want on the draw. Daze is a card you always want on the play, things like that. And so you don't get the hands where you've got double Daze, but you're on the draw and your opponent just plays land, go, and then you're like, well, these cards are dead.
One thing I like doing, though, when I'm playing a deck like Grixis, like Solomon's deck, which is playing Daze, but isn't particularly playing much of an aggro strategy.
It's more. It feels very tempo-y and almost leading into control, like mid-range tempo deck.
Yeah, I actually like leading in a Daze or two against Allian here.
Sometimes you get him. You definitely sometimes get him.
Well, I mean, a good Miracles player will say, well, this guy's going to board out Daze on the draw. And, like, he'll just jam his counterbalance.
Turn 1 top, turn 2 counterbalance. Yeah. And Allian actually did not play a top on turn 1. I'm a little surprised by that. Said he elected to hold on to it. He's going to play it now.
Have it? I think he was holding up Spell Snare.
Oh.
No, that doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't he play it?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's on the play.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, yeah, I mean, if you get your top counter or Force of Will, that feels kind of awkward, but it's not like that's going away if you do it on turn 2. You're just opening yourself up to maybe Spell Pierce. Draw for the turn. It's Jace the Mind Sculptor. Better than all.
Better than all. He's got a Mentor, too.
He's got a Counterbalance in his hand as well. Do you like playing the Counterbalance here, or
Definitely
do you like
Counterbalance? Because Counterbalance protects the Mentor.
Absolutely.
The problem is that Plains is real awkward for him.
Yeah. Playing Volcanic here is a little clunky, but I think you got to do it.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around Solomon's deck.
Yeah.
So he's playing a Daze Stifle Wasteland deck.
With no Delver Secrets.
With no aggro strategy.
Looks like Allian's going to start out with the Force of Will. Solomon's going to let that resolve and end-step Abrupt Decay it. He's like, yeah, that's fine, but it's also going to die. I don't really care what you do. You're more than welcome to reveal a card.
That one of Abrupt Decay pulling its weight.
Yeah. I always hate running the Abrupt Decays in decks like this because it incentivizes you to play the Trop. And I really don't want to be incentivized to play a Trop. When you're playing decks that are like this light on mana, and then you draw the Trop when you need Underground Sea, Volcanic Wasteland as your 3 lands, it feels very bad.
One thing I will say about Solomon's deck is the mana is pretty... He's not playing any very constrictive mana casting costs other than True Name.
Yeah, True Name's the hardest one. And like all your lands produce blue besides Waste, so... And so Solomon's got a Stifle in his hand. There might be a really good Stifle target here.
It's fine if I steal his time.
If Allian plays a and cracks a fetch here to try and resolve that Mentor, Solomon's just going to be able to basically time walk him. Do you think you should hold on to it, save it for a potential future Terminus?
Stifle, I like firing off here, given that he doesn't know Allian's hand, which has a lot of action in it.
Yeah, a lot of action. It's got 2 fetches too, but I think a Solomon has 2 Stifles, so...
I think actually, given the way... he also has 2, so you definitely should jam it.
Draws another Lightning Bolt. That's double bolt off the top for Solomon. Allian's going to go ahead and top EOT, finds a top, and I believe that's 2 fetch lands? Draw, it's a fetch land.
I think Solomon's actually relatively comfortable playing a controlling game here.
Solomon's going to end the turn by casting a Brainstorm with a fetch land in play. The most perfect of all Brainstorms. Finds a Wasteland, a Force of Will, and a Ponder. He's going to pitch 2 Lightning Bolts, which I like. Get rid of those for now.
Yeah, it looks like Allian is really conservative with his Mentors, which I think it's generally right. I think it's just kind of in there for the... You use it the same way you use Entreat. I mean, it's like a finisher.
Yeah, I really like what Solomon did there. Rather than fetching EOT as well, he went to his upkeep, untapped his land, and then cracked the fetch so that he had double blue up in case Allian tried to power through both of his fetch lands. Really heads up play by Solomon, just playing around the intelligence. Ponder sees the double bolt that he just put back.
And he drew a bolt for the turn.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh man, I missed that. Gonna go ahead and get rid of those cards. Does not want Lightning Bolt here. Let's see what he gets off this Ponder's blind.
Lightning Bolt?
Oh, it's a Brainstorm. Way better than Lightning Bolt. That's the blue Lightning Bolt, I believe.
Yep.
Gonna drop a Wasteland, but there's currently no non-basics besides fetches, which you don't really want to waste. Sometimes you can Rishid import their lands, their fetch lands, and then when tapped you waste them. That always feels nice. So Alien has a Spell Snare in his hand, but this True Name costs 3 mana.
Yeah, I kind of like just jamming this by Solomon because he's seen enough lands from Alien where he's kind of lost interest in the stifle his fetch land.
Yeah, but now he gets to stifle a Miracle Trigger, which is way different.
Yeah.
So I like this. Alien's going to go ahead and activate top, maintain priority, crack his fetch. So even if the Sensei's Divining Top gets destroyed here, which it's not going to, Solomon doesn't really have any tools to do that, you still get the top activation after the fetch resolves. It's like very subtle things like that that really show your prowess and knowledge of a deck. I think there was that by Alien, and then I think the untap upkeep fetch after the Brainstorm from Solomon.
Also,